Okay, so it is the Hummus Family Friendly 2021. On an Uber ride in Aaron Matt's new home in Northeast Ohio, the Jens driver spoke of his family life and love with his wife and kids. The driver then told Aaron that he also needs to find a good wife and have some kids. Aaron explained that he is homosexual, and without missing a beat, the driver told him that he needs to find a good husband and have some kids. Aaron had been Aaron had been concerned that Ohio's family-friendly disposition would also equal anti-LGBT. However, in Northeast Ohio chat group with our friends Jerry and Lab of Everything Then Some podcast and Darrell of the Library Live, Darrell told Aaron Mack, shift your perspective to in turn shift your reality. How do you receive a place that calls itself family friendly? Why? And can family friendly equal LGBT friendly? How and when? Okay. My thoughts are that family friendly equals safe space for children. Um, if you don't want to go to a restaurant where, like, I know, like, my mother wouldn't want to go to Hooters with us as a child or whatever. So I think that's what that means, like family friendly. Like, you don't have to be concerned on your children catching, inappropriate images or conversations. Like family like people tend to, like to go to family like places so that they know they can control the narratives of conversations and the things that their children will be viewing. And if they'll also have like those little coloring mats while the kids wait on food, like a family friendly place would have those types of things to accommodate children. So I think it's about creating a safe space for children. So, like, I think that's why he made a thing about Aaron starting a family, because it is a family friendly type of area. So yeah. I don't think I've never associated family friendly as like a hatred towards gay people. I think people in like politically attack people using that type of thing or whatever. We need to have a family, like a family first, type of narrative, when it comes to politics, because they know they can't straight out discriminate. So I think that's the only way that family is used, as an anti-LGBT type of situation. Um, but Rocky, what do you think?
About the family friend situation?
Mm-hmm.
So listening to you, because I when I heard the term family friend, I'm like, just like, what's that? But listening to you, it makes a little more sense. Um, when he was, some people, what I learned, especially living here in Chicago, when people see somebody, they automatically go to I'm just going to automatically assume that you're heterosexual. Do you know what I'm saying? So you be like, I don't flow that way. I'm not straight, Um, people start being like, you know what? It is different people. It's just not just straight people in this world, because everybody exists in this world. So when he said family friend, I mean, you could look at it as, family friendly. You can look at it as heterosexual, but maybe he was just like, well, at this time, everybody's being accepted. Everybody, is a little more open-minded than what they used to be back in the day. So he's just like, well, hey, you know what I mean? He probably simply said it like this, you're not straight, so you're gay. I've seen people that were married and they're LGBTQIA or whatever, and they got children or whatnot. Hey, at the end of the day, if you decide you know what I mean, if you like the vagina, you like the pussy, the boy pussy, the ass, the dick, whatever you like, then just make a family. So I just think that once you told him who you were, he just came to the realization like, oh, well, I did assume maybe he was straight. But, you know, since he was honest and whatnot, hey, you know what I mean? Hey, man, whatever floats your boat, hey, start a family, you know? Which I like people like that because I've experienced those situations where, you know, people just like, hey, you know, look at that girl right there. You know, she got a fat ass. I'm like, you know, that's not my thing. Oh, okay, well, cool, you know, and then they, you know, soften it up and they understand a little more that it's just more than just the heterosexual world that exists. And I keep it at that. Troy Easy, holla at me.
All right. I guess Yuri got stuck on what she was talking about. She got so stuck. So how do I receive this place that calls itself family friendly? Well, I think it ultimately coming from that standpoint of you know, at a place where someone's telling you about having family and being friendly. I think that when it comes from that standpoint, I think that that's super dope to be in a place like that and to be able to feel that comfortability enough from someone who is heterosexual. Because you could have flipped the script on him when you told him he was gay and he didn't, right? So I felt like in that kind of environment, the fact that, you know, in a whole other state where you don't know about it, that could have been a bad experience for you. You come like, fuck Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? And they, you know, against LGBTQ, you could have had a bad experience from that one guy who was Gen Z, but that experience for you changed a lot. Like it helped you see things differently and, you know, in Ohio. So I think that that's, you know, a great way to look at it because you don't hear those kind of stories. And so I think that, you know, thank you for bringing it to the show and putting it out there that, you know, it could be put in that sake. But I have family friendly being a father. I ultimately think like kid friendly when you think family friendly. When it comes to the family friendly equal and LGBT friendly, I will out it out because the LGBTs are doing too much sometimes. You know, nothing wrong with Pride and around Pride Month and all that, but sometimes just do too much for no reason. And it's just okay. That's the issue right there. When you're doing a little bit too much carrying for no reason, that's a little bit too much, especially if there's kids around. I think there's a time and a place. And I feel like, you know, there's a time and a place and people don't respect time and a place. And that's where family friendly, kid friendly, and all those things start to cross lines. But can it be? Yes. Sometimes there's issues, but yes, it can be. Back to you, Yuri.
All right, Jay. So what do you think?
So, you know what? I had a base foundation opinion about this topic, but hearing each person's perspective, I kind of have like a different like opinion. So just repeat the question for me one more time, like in a nutshell.
Okay, so how do you receive a place that calls itself family friendly?
Initially, before hearing everybody's perspective, I was just thinking like, oh, a place where my family can go. But if we learn anything from the Trump administration, we've learned that dog whistling is a big thing. Well, was a big thing in the last 4 years. So when you really break down family friendly, and now I'm hearing it being equated to homophobia for the first time, because this is literally the first time I've ever heard it being phrased like that. I'm kind of I don't know. I'm just like kind of like shook up, to be honest with you. You got me shook up here on Verse TV. So it's I would say that when I hear it like that, I would say that it's still the same way. It depends on what kind of service you're having at the time. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're a person of a trans experience, if you're a person of a gay experience, or if you're a person of a non-binary experience, and you go to a place that's family friendly, and you're being treated a certain kind of way that you feel is not being like the next table isn't getting, then that's when you should have concern. But if you go to that place and you're being treated as an equal, like for instance, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is a place that is so Christian-y and that's so, you know, she's that holy girl that's in the classroom, but behind the scenes, she's that girl that's actually like paying girls to like, you know, who pay girls who's anti-homophobic, like anti-homosexual and homophobic people. You know, they're paying organizations like that. So it's one of those kind of situations where you kind of have to like look at it in so many like perspectives in so many ways. So I don't want to take too much time on the topic, but I would say that when I think of a place that's family friendly, I just think of a place that's who thinks more of the children and their experience.
All right now. Well, I think everybody wrapped it up, or anybody got any last thoughts? Okay, well, silence is giving me we're done with that. So what we'll do is go ahead and move on to the Homos Freshman 15. This comes from Gay Magazine. It's actually a reference to Laverne Cott's tweet. People who work full time should be able to make a living wage. A $15 an hour federal minimum wage is way past due. Sign the petition to ask Sen Sanders to keep the minimum wage raised in the COVID relief bill. Don't kill it, Bernie. Fight for 15. Laverne Cox is using her wonderful influence to push for a $15 minimum wage. How can we make a fair minimum wage work? In some parts of the country, $15 an hour is much more than just a living wage. Yet in other parts of the country, it's just a drop in the bucket. Is a solution